My name is Tony. I'm the director of the Bad River Watershed Association. And it's a great night to be outside, and I'm glad you guys are inside, ready to see some stuff. For those of you that are unfamiliar with the Bad River Watershed Association, we are a non-profit, membership-based organization. The watershed itself is over 1,000 square miles, very large, and there are 605 designated trout streams within the watershed. That's about 5% of the total of the state. And more importantly, there are 360 outstanding exceptional resource waters. Again, about 5% of the state. What's special about the outstanding exceptional resource waters is these are designated for their quality based on the Clean Water Act. And with that, they have some special anti-degradation policies, which I hope will get discussed at some point. But what that means is that their water quality cannot change from impact. And surrounding the proposed mine area, guess what? There's designated outstanding resource waterways. Just a little bit again, we're a membership organization here, local, and this activity is taking place in our watershed. The organization, we're about 10 years, well, just over 10 years old. We were founded in 2002. Started as a grassroots citizen science effort just to start collecting data information about the waters within the watershed. Before we started doing our volunteer work looking at what lives in these waters, very little was known about the watershed and the quality of our waters. The early studies dated back to the 1970s, so there was a 30-year gap before we started. After we started collecting our volunteer citizen science data, we moved into restoration, replacing bad culverts, perched culverts, and allowing the native trout species to move upstream and find habitat. From there, we moved into a watershed action plan, where we were specifically looking at the Marengo River watershed because it's has a lot of sediment that puts into the watershed itself, and the sediment's it's bad for the water and for the fish that live in there. In the face of this proposed mine, we started collecting more intensely in the waters around the proposed mine area, just to develop a baseline of the quality of the waters in case they start doing activity. And we've started working and coordinating the efforts of other organizations to help look more specifically within the waters in the Penokee area. Once again, thank you for coming. I'm going to turn the microphone over to Bobby Ronson, a member of our board of directors, who set up this event tonight.
I'll be brief. I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm the chair of the Bad River Watershed Association Mining Impact Committee. Tony, who you just heard, is also a member. Michelle Hegland in the back is also a member, and we will, after the film, be walking around with cards and pencils so that if you have questions, which I'm sure you will, let us know. You're welcome to stand up and ask the questions, but if you'd rather write it on a card and have us give it to the panelists, we're happy to do that. The reason that we're doing this, in the history of the Bad River Watershed Association on our website, it says, a watershed is a powerful symbol for the energetic connection that brings together people from a wide range of backgrounds and ideals toward a common purpose. This connection to the water and by the water brings about a powerful sense of ownership and responsibility to care for the watershed, which provides us so many services and unites us as a community. The purpose of the Bad River Watershed Association, I won't go through the first three, the fourth one I think is the most important. It serves as a proactive community forum for education, coordination, and decision-making affecting the resources of the watershed. And I'm sure that that's why you're all here tonight. So this film is about our community, and it expresses some of the concerns that we all have as a community. When I saw the film, it left me wanting more. You might feel the same way. That's why we have the panelists here. They can offer a great deal of additional information. So when the film ends, we're going to take a quick 10-minute break, grab some refreshments, take a look at our displays, think about what you want to know more about. We've got some great people up here who will introduce themselves after the film is over. This isn't a time for public testimony, it's a time for getting questions asked and answers, so please be concise. I'd like to introduce Devon Cupery, who produced the film, and she will get us started. Thanks.
Hi, everybody. It's so great to be here and so great to see so many people in the audience tonight to see this film. And I want to say thank you to the panelists who have agreed to come here and be part of this. A lot of them were important in the process of making the documentary and understanding this story. So this documentary is called Wisconsin's Mining Standoff. I was one of the producers of the film, and I worked for a company in Milwaukee called 371 Productions. We produced and directed the film as a commission for Al Jazeera America's Fault Lines series, an investigative documentary program. And so it was the initial inspiration for the film came from this community and people speaking out about what is at stake in this area. The first exposure I personally had to this story was Mike Wiggins was speaking at Wisconsin Wetlands Association conference in Lake Geneva, way down south, and spoke about what's at stake. And it was clear that this is an important story in terms of this community and also for the state as a whole. So it's a 25-minute film, and I look forward to our panel discussion, questions about the film and for the wonderful panelists and about this issue in general. So thank you so much for being here tonight.